Whoa, whoa, whoa. Anyway, so today I have to do music production because I need to hold myself accountable. Otherwise, I'm never gonna do it. And it's like, I have to. This is no choice. However, I've done it in the most butched way imaginable. Like, this is the most clapped way I think I've ever done something. So I have no idea about audio. I'm gonna give you a little rundown. So I'm trying to get in. Also, I will be taking any advice. I beg, I beg. So basically, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through. He's called. I need to find out what this guy's called because
Or headphones.
this guy deserves like he deserves the best shag of his life. I'm telling you right now. Music tech help guy. He's got like 72 videos of basically just Logic Pro X, and I was like, because I'm going to uni in September, I was like, this is the best thing I could do is to go through 72 videos. And I was like, just gonna stream it. So any advice or out? I do know a few things on Logic Pro, and this is going to be absolutely shambles. Streaming it from my MSI laptop, screen sharing it from my Mac and my phone. So I've got a camera. So if this crashes, I do apologize. Or if it's like shit, please forgive me. Anyway, we're gonna start watching the video. I hope you can see the video alright. I don't know if I should like enlarge it. I'm just gonna go for it. I'm just gonna go for it. And anything that I know, I'm just gonna skip. So
And they also allow you to connect input devices like microphones or electric guitar or electric bass
also
so you can
go
make audio
subscribe.
recordings in
Go subscribe to this guy because I swear down, I've watched his videos for so much shit and they're so good. Like all this for free blows my mind.
Logic. And many
Trump
audio
hates to see it.
interfaces will have multiple inputs and outputs for routing various audio sources. All this mixing hardware I have back here in my desk, I use this.
Sorry, I will stop pausing it and that. So I'm just gonna, I basically know audio interface setup, but I'm watching it in case it's, oh, I don't know.
In conjunction with my audio interface. Now that's a more advanced feature that I'll demonstrate much later in this series, but for now I want to just focus on setting up your audio interface in Logic and connecting your speakers. But before we do that, I want to tell you about the sponsor of this video, Boombox.
Oh, ads plague this world. Also, can we talk about how the ads now don't even give a time? Diabolical. Anyway,
Or mixing
I'm just
engineer
gonna
who's
skip
got
this
it.
part.
Audio interfaces come in a variety of shapes, sizes, formats, and price points. For this video, I'm going to be using the Apogee
So
Symphony
much
desktop,
wires.
but there are certainly more budget-friendly options like the Focusrite Scarlett 2i2, the Solid-State Logic SSL2, the Universal Audio Volt, and many, many others.
Focus
Budget-friendly
right.
audio interfaces are
Why is it so
very
bright?
common these days. There are also rack mount options that offer expanded I/O and other features, usually at a higher price point. Now, depending on the interface you have purchased, you may or may not need to install the required software or drivers for the interface. For my Symphony desktop, I have
Right, so I've got a Scarlett Solo, and and I use my Line 6 Helix to record my guitars. You can't really see them. So I feel like don't really need to go for this part, but we're gonna
USB,
listen.
then I'll connect my speaker outputs to my studio monitors, and I'll also connect a microphone to mic input 1 to test the input. If you don't have a microphone, you could also opt to plug in your electric guitar or bass to test the input signal. And I'll also plug in some headphones to make sure that the headphone output is working.
I'm not gonna do this right now. 'Cause
Remember, if you're in version 10.7.4 and earlier, this will say preferences. And then from here, you'll go to audio. So under audio devices, you'll see two options here, output device and input
I'm actually gonna
device.
have a look
So
at
what I'm
this.
gonna do is from my output device,
Oh,
I'm
my
going
hard
to
drive.
find the Symphony desktop and select that as my output device. And
Oh,
you'll see
actually,
Logic
not really
also
good.
selects this as the input device. Now, one other option I want to point out here is the IO buffer size. The
Right, I
buffer
need to do
size
this.
has to
This is
do.
diabolical. Where's that? Audio preferences, audio. Net.
With how audio signals are processed between your computer and the
Right.
audio interface. And when you process or record or
Should
mix audio signals,
1024
digital
be
processing takes time. Take just recording with a microphone, for example. When you sing or play into a microphone, the signal that comes out of the microphone is electrical, it's analog. When it goes into your audio interface, it's amplified by a microphone preamp and then converted to digital, which is sent into Logic Pro as a digital audio recording. Then you might add other processing or plugins or effects to that signal. And then when you press play, the signal is sent back out to the audio interface, still
mm-hmm,
in a digital
mm-hmm.
format, and then it's converted back to analog so that you can listen to it on speakers or headphones. This entire round trip process causes latency or a lag or delay in the audio signal. Now, we'll dive into more detail on when to change the buffer size and when to use certain settings. But in general, when you're going to be recording, you want to use a lower buffer size to
Definitely not
minimize that
10,
round trip latency. So
24.
you
We
can
get
see that the
bummed.
resulting round trip latency is 17.4 milliseconds at 32. And then if I bump this up to 1024, you can see that the latency goes to 62.4 milliseconds. So when would you want to use a
Mm,
higher buffer size? Well, you want to use a higher buffer when you're mixing, editing, or working on your project. Basically, if you're doing anything other than recording. Using a higher buffer size also improves your processing power and performance in Logic. So again,
tomorrow, I'm gonna go get like a notebook and pad and like just write all this shit down.
and in
Hell yeah.
general, when you're recording, set the buffer size to a lower value. When you're mixing, editing, or doing anything other than recording, set this to a higher value. So for demonstration, I'll set this to 32 samples. And then I'll click apply.
Well, I guess
Okay,
then
so now
we
let's
only
test the
really need
input and
like a
output
higher
of
one,
the
don't we?
audio interface. Let's start with the output. So I'm going to click here to open up the loop library, and I'm just going to drag one of these audio loops. All of these blue ones are all audio loops. I'm going to drag one of these onto a new track here, just like so. You can hover your mouse over the bottom of the track here and zoom up the track. And you can also use these sliders right here to zoom vertically or to zoom horizontally. So let's just zoom out a bit there. And let's play this back just by pressing spacebar. And then to set the playhead back to the beginning, you can just press return on your keyboard.
I don't want to be a noob, but like, what the fuck? What is return? I'm so sorry if this is boring. I'm just honestly, if I stream it, it makes me sit down and do it. We're gonna have a listen. Yeah, man. Please let me know if you can hear this as well. Yeah. It'd be good, but it could never be Daft Punk good ever. Also, I should state that I do have Media Lab 3 too rare connected, so I feel like I am we're set on this department. We just want to dive. Oh, hello. Thank you for joining back. I'm so sorry I've been gone a while. I have been up to some rogue shenanigans. Cannot lie. Uh, I hope you're well though. Um, I went on holiday. Yeah, yeah, I'm so sorry I haven't been here. However, I am making them regular again and hoping to do a bit of production every night. I'm trying to strive away from more games and make it more music orientated because obviously that's what I want to do for my future, and I want to try and use my time more progressively for just stuff like that. So yeah, I hope you're well, and thank you for joining again. Much love. I'm so sorry you have to sit through this shambles with us, but any questions, please let me know. We're currently looking for like some sort of do. Maybe like I'm just gonna do what he does and go for a guitar loop. Um, oh Johnny, get me on that farm. Get me on that farm. Yes. Also, I should state that I'm joining a band, but to play bass. So I've realised, like, just to fill out work, I'm gonna have to join bands and play bass because I know bass is like the bass market's oversaturated, but the guitar player market is oversaturated. To mad, to mad. I've got no chance. Um, yeah, and I've had like so many rogue situations. I was just like, this guy messaged me and he sent me a demo of his songs. I'm not getting paid for it, but I'm not bothered. But like, I swear to God, like one of his songs was so Jamiroquai-esque. I love Jamiroquai. I was like, and then the rest of his songs is like blues and rocky, and he's just looking to record them. And I was like, well, I'd love to. Like realistically, like that's something I'm well interested in, and I would love to help him and record shit. Because I'm like, yeah, yeah. Anyway, right, we're gonna, I'm gonna continue watching this video now. I'll continue my rogue stories in a bit, but you know,
Okay, so
I'll
I'm
make
hearing
it
the loop
bigger.
just fine through my speakers and through my headphones. So I've tested the output. I know that I'm getting signal there. Next, let's test the input. So I'm just going to select this track, hit delete to delete the track. And I have a blank audio track here, but let me show you how to actually create an audio track. Now, if you have no tracks in your project, Logic is going to force you to choose a track type. But let's say I already have a software instrument. If I want to create another audio track, what I can do is click this little plus button right here, or I can press Option
So what's going
Command
on with him?
N as a shortcut to create a new track. I'll click Audio, and now I have a blank audio track here. I can go ahead and delete this software instrument. Now what I need to do is tell this track to input signal from input 1 on my audio interface. So in order to do this, I'm just going to select the track. I'm going to click this I button here to open up this little side panel. This is the inspector. You can also hide and show the inspector
Inspector
by pressing
Gadget.
I. And then this channel strip here, this is the channel associated with this audio track. And this little tab here at the top that says input 1, that's telling us where the signal is coming from. So if I click on that and then go to
Mhm,
input, you'll
mhm,
see
mhm.
multiple inputs here from my audio interface. Now, my two microphone inputs on this interface are input 1 and input 2. So remember, I plugged my microphone into input 1, so I'll make sure to select that. I'm also using a condenser microphone, so I need to turn on phantom power on my audio interface. This is usually labeled with a plus 48V button on your interface, but when using dynamic microphones or ribbon microphones, you typically do not need to turn on phantom power.
Right. While this adds
To
on,
get started
I'll
in
state what I know. So I used to do sound, um, like live sound. So I know like a lot of the basics with mics and that, and I did a course for like mics and that. So I know like condensers need phantom power and ribbons and that don't 'cause they're delicate. So I'd say like I know the basics
is it allows you to listen to yourself
briefly.
through the microphone. So you're monitoring yourself through the input signal on the track without actually recording anything. So you can see as I'm speaking, the level on the meter here on the track is moving. as well as the level on the channel strip in the inspector. Now, if I turn this option off and switch over to the R, which is record enable, this will essentially do the same thing, but now this allows us to actually record our audio signal. Now, one thing I am going to do here real quick is I'm going to click this 1, 2, 3, 4 option to turn it off. That's the count in. We don't want to count in for this. And then the option right next to it is the metronome or the click. What I'm going to do is click and hold on this, and I'm going to turn off the click while recording option. Otherwise, we're going to hear a metronome in the background while we record. Now to record, I'm just going to press R to make a quick audio recording, and I'm going to check the microphone. Check testing 1, 2, 3. Check testing 1, 2, 3. Mic check 1, 2. Testing 1, 2, 3. And then you just press spacebar to stop. Now, when recording with a microphone, you want to make sure that you're wearing headphones and that you've turned your monitors all the way down or at least muted them. If you have your speakers playing at the same time as making an audio recording with a mic, you're going to get a really nasty feedback loop between the speakers and the microphone. So you always have to make sure you mute your
7:50
speakers and wear
minutes.
headphones when
Who am
making
I?
audio recordings. So now what I'll do is I'll turn off record enable, and let's see if I can hear this audio recording I just made. Check testing 1, 2, 3. Check testing 1, 2, 3. Mic check
His mic
1,
is
2.
so
Testing
clear.
1, 2, 3.
Goddamn.
Okay, so it looks like my input's working, my output's working, and that's how you can set up an audio
And none
interface
would be
in
so
Logic
proud.
Pro. Don't forget about the sponsor of today's video, Boombox. I've left links to their website in the video description below.
Okay.
I hope you enjoyed this video.
What a guy.
Hey everyone, this is Music Tech Help Guy, and in this video, I'm going to give you a
Also, I hope like this is allowed. Like I've seen a lot of other people watching videos, so I assume I can watch his videos. I don't really know. I don't think this is I'm not going to be on stream for long neither. Like this is just a brief getting back into the game. Perhaps an hour, maybe an hour. I don't know. But I feel like we're trying to get back into the grind.
rundown of the main areas in Logic Pro's user interface. I'll also show
Just
you
gonna get rid of
some
this
quick and easy
little.
ways to use key commands or keyboard shortcuts to access and navigate between these essential areas in Logic Pro. And knowing how to quickly access all areas of Logic's user interface is really important to building an efficient production workflow. And you know what else is great for improving your workflow? Today's sponsor, Boombox.
Your
As a
mom's
producer and
vagina.
mixing engineer who primarily
I
works
feel
remotely
like
from my home studio, I really appreciate
do I have
Boombox.io
like a
for
pen
keeping
and
my
paper?
projects and client feedback organized and all in one place. I can batch upload uncompressed audio files, I can invite collaborators to listen and leave time-stamped feedback on.
So I'm currently going through all my music theory as well because I'm currently on grade 5, but I haven't been finished my tests. So I'm trying to get like all my I'm just gonna pause it. So I'm gonna get like look pen and paper and just write some shit down. But I'm currently going through all the grades and writing all the shit I need out, ready for my test because I'm gonna pass this test and I will be on them cruise ships with my guitar. So this is like all like just written shit from all the grades that I'm on. And as I said, it's ABRSM grade 5. It's so difficult now. I've been doing practice tests like up until like round 4. Like I missed the pass by a few marks, and I was like a bit scared. So I need to get like grade 5 down before I can even think about doing a test. But yeah, so this is my other book with end of grade 4 and grade 5. I haven't really done that many pages, so I'm trying to show you. I do half an hour every day, and I set a timer for it. So I know I actually do half an hour. Um, because yeah, sometimes you've got to put the shit parts into shit. Well, like, how needs my steer? Kind of. It's a bit rough. Like, So I'm just gonna go to the back and I'm gonna get like a little notebook tomorrow and write it all down. But I'm so nervous to go back to uni because like I know there's always the fact, but like there'll be so much more people who know so much more than me. So I'm just really trying to get my head in the game. Yeah. Um. Yeah. I'm just scared. Like. So I'm just gonna write some shit in the back of here. Then I'm gonna get a book tomorrow when I go to the gym because now I'm a gym advocate. Not an actual advocate, but like you know, going to Zanti in a few months. Eating skinny and ripped, shredded, fattest ass there. I won't. Anyway, I'm gonna write down. So I know you've mentioned about the latency. I'm gonna quickly write that. How you need a bigger buffer when not recording. Uh, pens to when not recording. Smaller buffer. Yeah, maybe I should make this his screen a little bit bigger. Don't know. What do you think? Because at the moment I haven't really delved in to the logic shabam. Yeah. Also, I'm gonna put the recording of this onto YouTube just so I can, keep track of my progress and you know. I am sat in my pajamas though, so I can't get up out my seat. I'm wearing pajama bottoms. I just mean like I don't want to be caught 4K trekking around my room in my pajamas. Yeah, probably not now. I'll meet you then.
For yourself. You can sign up today at boombox.io and get 10 gigabytes of free storage. I have a demo project here that I've created to
Yes.
show you Logic's interface. I've included a link in the video description below to download this demo project for free, so you can open this demo project and follow along with me if you like. This main area here, which is the main arrangement area in Logic, is called the tracks area. This
We're
is
gonna
where you're
see.
typically going to be recording and editing content within your project. On the left side of the tracks area, you have your tracks and track headers. And on these tracks, you'll see different regions. These blue ones are audio regions, the green ones are MIDI regions, and these yellow ones are pattern regions that are used with the step sequencer. Now, if you want to create a
Hello. Thank you for joining. I know it's been so long, but I'm back on the grind. And we're trying to get learning music production. I've been all right. I hope you've been well as well. Do apologize for not being here for like 3 weeks, maybe four. Feel like it has been a month. Yes, please tell me about your gigs. I'd love to know more about them. Talking about gigs, I am actually, I don't know if I can say. I'm gonna skip that. But I'm joining, well, I'm doing bass for this band that kind of sounds like Jamiroquai mixed with like some bluesy, like old rocky sound. And I was like, and I'd be recording it as well. I not personally recording it, like producing side, like I'd be like on my bass. But yeah, hell yeah, love that all time high. I've never done a wedding. I've always wanted to do one though. I feel like, yeah, yeah. Wedding function band, then metalcore. I love that to be honest. It's such a vibe. I'm glad you had a good time though. Um, I'm sorry it isn't my guitar, but I thinking I don't know if this is true by my standards, but I'm gonna do less. I can't remember how Come Get Your Love play goes. I'm so sorry. I will have to have a listen though. I will. I've never seen Guardians of the Galaxy. I don't know if that's like a crime. Yeah, I know. I haven't. Do you know, I've never. I don't know why, but I've never been. I've never like watched them. Like I just haven't. Like it's not as if I'm not watching that. I just haven't. Real. That's how I'd feel if someone was like, I don't like Star Wars. It's not the fact that I don't like it. I just haven't seen it. Maybe I should watch it. I'd feel as of recent days, I haven't really been watching. I I've been on the grind. I really have. However, I will have to have a listen. Maybe I probably do know it. I feel like, you know, the guitar run's going well. Um, Currently going through ABS. So basically, how am I saying it? I'm going through. So I'm going back to uni in September for guitar. And so basically, I'm just trying to get everything up there. And I really want to eventually go on cruise ships and start working more gigs than that. So I want to get my grade five music theory. Um, and then on doing my ABRSM grade one because I'm shit at reading sheet music. So I'm not starting. I've read sheet music for shows before, but I feel like I had to learn the songs more than I should have, if that makes sense. So like I'd translate it all and then I'd play from that. Um, so basically I'm just trying to like get more better at sheet music, but I might as well go for the ABRSM grades. Isn't sheet mu is the sax treble clef? I feel like it is, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, and then I'm trying to get to grade eight Trinity Rock and Pop. So I'm just going through them basically. And I don't know why, but I've been feeling stuck for what songs to learn for myself because I get so caught up on like learning stuff and having a go. That sometimes I'll just be sat there and be like, so I've been playing bass as well. I was actually really against my bass for like a year, but I'm happy with it again.
A new track, you can click this plus button right here, and this will bring up the choose a track type dialog, or you can use the shortcut Option Command N. This will bring up that same dialog. Now, one thing that might look a bit different than the previous video is that the dialog here is in this darker color because I'm using macOS dark mode, which can be set from your system preferences or system settings. And there is a more colorful view for the new tracks dialog. If you go to Logic Pro settings or Logic Pro preferences, then
No,
go
you
to the
didn't.
display
Oh,
settings. Here
I think
under
you should. I do
Windows,
actually
we
have a
can select
Discord
Show
now.
Icons in New Tracks dialog. So now if I
I will
press
have to
Option
put.
Command N again, I get these big colorful icons showing the
Oh,
different track types that I can create. So Logic is showing four main types of tracks here. You have software
I kind of
instrument
like that.
tracks.
Right, I'm gonna
These are
go back.
tracks where you can load software
Um,
dialog. If you go to Logic Pro settings or Logic Pro preferences, then go to the display settings. Here under Windows, you can select Show Icons in New
Display.
Tracks dialog. So now if I press Option
Yeah.
Command N again, I get these big colorful icons showing the different track types that I can create. So Logic is
Sheesh.
showing
Yeah,
four
hell yeah.
main
Please
types
send
of
me. I will
tracks
have a
here. You
look.
have software instrument tracks. These are tracks where you can load software instruments onto, or virtual instruments, as they're sometimes called. audio tracks for recording with a microphone or a DI instrument like guitar or bass. Whether you choose an audio track or a guitar track, both of these are still considered audio tracks. And then we have drummer tracks, which is a type I haven't shown you yet. So let's go ahead and create a drummer track. You can choose different genres here. I'll go with
Okay.
like an electronic drummer and then click create. And this creates a drummer track and an associated drummer region. Now, to delete tracks,
Okay.
there's two different ways you can do this. One, you can just press delete, which will delete all of the regions, then press delete again to delete the track. I'll press Command Z to undo a couple times. And another way to do this is to just press Command
Command
delete,
Z.
and that will delete the regions and the track. Additionally,
That undo button will be getting bummed. I shall. Well, let me try and do it. My camera might go off 1 second. Let me try and do it now. I don't even know where friend request. Oh, I do. I've accepted you. Right. Should be back. Yeah. Am I back? Maybe. Oh, yes. Yeah. Hell yeah. Now, I'm trying to learn Ableton as well, but I'm at one thing at a time. I can't stress myself out anymore. Like, I'm coming to that age where it's like, if I don't do everything this year, it's a failure. Like, this has to be my year, or else I've failed my life. Diabolical. If it's good enough for Hans Zimmer, it's good enough for me. Hell yeah. Right, I'm just gonna
if you
continue
want to
this.
duplicate a track, you
Mm,
select the track and then click this button right here. This will duplicate all of the settings of that track. However, it does not duplicate the regions. To move regions, you can just click and drag them down to other tracks or drag them to a different place on the timeline. Or what you can do is you can hold Option and you can duplicate regions. So you just hold Option, then drag the region to a different
Option.
location to duplicate it.
Where is
Other things you
option?
can do with tracks is you can reorder them. So if I want my Alive and Kicking It beat to be down in the bottom, I can just click and drag down. You can also resize the track headers or zoom the track headers by hovering your mouse over the boundary between two tracks and then just clicking and dragging up or down. So you can resize these to any size you like. Now, if you want all of the tracks to be the same size, you can hold Shift and then just click on any of the boundaries between any of the tracks, and it will make them all a consistent size. Additionally, you can zoom within the tracks area by using your zoom sliders up here. So this is your vertical zoom, this is your horizontal zoom, and there's also a few helpful zoom shortcuts. If you hold Command and press up or down on your arrow keys, this will vertical zoom.
Right. So shift and click boundary of track equals space of tracks. And then what was it? Shift. I always get confused which one shift is. How does it work for me?
And if you hold Command and left and right, you can use this for
Oh, it's
horizontal zoom.
command.
Another really helpful shortcut I like.
Right. And up down equals. Yeah, Hans Zimmer is definitely the modern day Mozart. Like, without a doubt. That man, I'm sure he's got loads of awards. I'd love some of his awards. However, I'm shit at production, so that's why I'm doing this. And this is holding myself accountable to make sure I actually do it. So it's like a win-win. It'd be fucking sick. Pirates of the Caribbean, or in its entirety, the soundtrack live. Mate, I'd motorboat him. I actually would. Um, and I also found this other guy who does like a baby crying in a corner. Yeah, yeah. I would feel, you know, so inferior to him. I'd just sit and just be in awe. Like if he spoke to us, which he never would, I'd be like, I wouldn't speak back. I just couldn't live well. Right, continuing on. We have to be on the ground.
Like to use is to click on the background to deselect all of the regions, then press Z, and this will auto zoom everything to fit the tracks area. Additionally, a really important
Mm.
part of the tracks area is this little guy right here. This is the playhead. This shows you where playback is currently located. So if I want to start from the beginning, I can set this to the beginning
Hello to
and then
everyone
press
who's
spacebar
joined.
to play.
Thank you. I know this is a bit rough,
If I want
but
to jump over here to bar
it has to be
13, I'll
done.
just set the playhead there and then press spacebar again. You can press the return key on your keyboard to set the playhead back to the beginning. Now,
What is the return key on Mac? Like, I have no idea. Like, I beg, someone tell me. Does it actually? Jeez, thank you, legend. I never knew that, but then it does make sense because, I'm sorry. Yeah, I really appreciate it.
if you just want to single out one or
Gold star
multiple
for you.
tracks, like if I just want to hear this dynamic soft pad, I can click on this S button to solo the track.
Mm, I mean, to be fair, it's equally often. Yeah.
Additionally, you can press S on your keyboard to toggle the solo for that track. And likewise, I can press M here or press M on my keyboard to toggle the mute for.
Also, a quick question. Does it make more sense at this current moment to have the video I'm watching on the bigger screen and my actual Logic um thing in the corner? Yeah, it does. Guess one sec. Because I'm not really, we're only 3 videos out of 72 at the moment. So we've got a way to go. We really do. Right, I'm gonna swap them there. Sorry, I'm just trying to do some. Yeah, sorry. I'm gonna swap them now. I will need a second. I'm like a grandma at this. I'm telling you. Right. So this will go here, here, no. Yes. I'm so sorry. But this will benefit. Maybe I can do some shabam like this. Also, I'll tell you the guy's name I'm using again. just so everyone's aware that, this man deserves all the credit and more. Like his videos are so helpful that I'm just like, how can someone give away this much knowledge for free? Like, I am so thankful for like YouTube and shit because, you know, the people know what's going on. Mm, sorry. Right. Is that better? Yes. Thank you. I'm so sorry that I never realized that would be an issue. My big head's kind of in the way, but I kind of like my big head. Honestly, right? No, actually, I'm not going to say it. I was going to say something a bit rude, but maybe I shouldn't.
for that track. So if I want to hear my arrangement without this soft pad, I can do that.
So I know like all of this kind of majority of it. Um,
Additionally, if
as you
you
see,
want to
it's in like
isolate or mute
college and that,
multiple
and like,
tracks together, you
what's
can
fun?
click and swipe up or down, and you can solo multiple tracks at the same time, or mute multiple tracks at the same time. Or you can hold Shift and select multiples,
Disgraceful. See, I've
and
got a big
use the
head.
M and S shortcut, as I demonstrated before, to toggle the mute and solo for all of the selected tracks. And all of these shortcuts can be used in real time while the project is playing. Additionally, on the track headers, you have your arm for record or record enable button and input monitor, which I
I'd
demonstrated
say
in
the
a
majority
previous
of
lesson.
this
We'll come back to
kind of
these later
know.
when we get into recording with
I just want to
MIDI
go through
and
everything.
recording audio. You can also adjust the level of any of the tracks right here on the track header. So this is the volume level. And you can also adjust the pan, so the left-right positioning. Now, if you want to set either of these settings, the volume or the pan, back to their default setting, you can hold Option on your keyboard and click on them, and it'll reset them to their default setting. Okay, so that's just a quick overview of the tracks area. Next, I want to talk about the control bar and display. This is this whole area up here at the top, and
I'm
this also
listening.
includes something called the toolbar, which can be hidden and shown by clicking here. Most of the toolbar options will save for a future video, so I'll go ahead and hide the toolbar for now. And in the center of the control bar are the transport controls, which are your navigation and playback controls, and the LCD display, which is how you can adjust things like the grid, the project tempo, the
The
project
grid.
key, etc. We're going
Can't
to
wait for the
skip these for
neutron.
now, but we'll come back to these in the next video. The next area I want to show you is on the left, and
So I'm gonna have to pause for speaking of, as soon as he mentioned the grid, I thought of Daft Punk's soundtrack for Tron. And I can't believe Nine Inch Nails is doing the Nets soundtrack. I'll cry. I'll cry. I'm not emotional, but like I'm emotional for Nine Inch Nails. I'm actually going to see them in like 2 weeks. I've never been so excited. I'm gonna go dress like such a goth. It's gonna be so good. I'm so excited. Like to hear them live. Um, I cannot comprehend, and I cannot wait to hear them. Yes, so excited. Also, I am not going to download. Some of my mates did ask me to go to download with them, but I never booked it, so it is too late, I assume. I'm not too sure when download is neither. Um, however, I do wish, like, I wish I went. Like, I think it would have really been nice, to go. and camp. It would be nice to go with my friends as well. Yeah, I don't really know who's on this year, to be honest. But I'd, I do wish I went to go see them. But I feel like now I'll probably have work and that, and I'm trying to do some more work and just other stuff before. Is that must be like next week or something? I'm actually off then as well. I'm off for 2 weeks to get in on the grind. Um, my goal is to do my music theory test before September because I don't want to be thinking about that. Plus, all like my um like assignments and that. Like, I just wanna like focus on minimal things at a time. So this is the best time for me. And then once I got it, I'm not gonna forget it. Like I'll put in so much work and revision, but when I get that piece of paper, I won't even wear a top. I'll wear that paper and I'll be like, oh, oh. No one will forget I've got that. Months. Probably it's like, yeah, maybe not a year. It's a bit dramatic.
This is called the inspector. This is this whole
I
panel
cry.
right
My
here.
wife.
And you can hide
Mm.
and show the inspector by clicking here, or you can press I on your keyboard to hide and show the inspector. There are three main areas in the inspector. You have the region inspector, which can be hidden or shown by
Mhm.
clicking
Mhm.
here. The region inspector shows parameters specific to the currently selected region. And then the track inspector shows parameters specific to the currently selected track. And then down at the bottom, there are two channel strips. The channel strip on the left shows you the current track that you have selected. So this is the dynamic soft pad. You can see this is the dynamic soft pad track. And if I click on another one, it switches to another track. The track that's on the right side shows you the stereo output. This is like the main output of Logic's mixer, and we'll come back to the main mixer editor in just a bit. So I like to think of this channel strip as a quick way to access the controls on a track that are not shown on the track header, which for software instrument tracks like the one I have selected here includes things like MIDI effects, the instrument itself, effects plugins, sends, output routing, groups, automation modes, pan, and volume control. For audio tracks, this includes the input routing, audio effects, sends, the output routing, groups, automation modes, and then pan and volume. An additional area to the left of the inspector is the library, which can be accessed by clicking here, but you can also press Y on your keyboard to hide and show the library. The library has two main functions. When you select a software instrument track, this will show you a list of software instrument presets that you can select. So for right now, I have this dynamic soft pad, and it's using the retro synth instrument here. And this is just a synth pad that's within retro synth.
Go and ask anyone on my team. They'll all say the same thing. Monday CRM
God
makes them
save
better at their
us.
job, and they're closing more deals than ever.
But if I wanted something more interesting, I could just
Let's
select
see.
that
Sorry.
track and I could swap this out for any instrument I like. So for
Yeah.
example, if I go
No.
to
I'll never be
synthesizer,
losing
then I'll
them.
go to strings. Let's try this bright synth strings patch. So you can see that the channel strip in the inspector now looks different because there's a different instrument preset and different effects assigned to
I,
this
I get
instrument
this, so it's
preset.
fine.
This collection of the
I'm gonna
instrument plus
frame
all of
my
its effects
papers.
is called a channel
I
strip
am.
setting. Let's try another one. Let's try this Moonlight Arc instrument.
It'd be so goofy, but I will. Unfortunately. Um, okay.
So that's a quick way to choose different instrument presets from the library. Now, if you have an audio track selected, like I have my beat selected here, the library will show you preset effects chains for audio tracks. So if I go to drums and percussion, stereo kit, I can select this squeezed kit option, and this will add a few effects to that channel to change the tone of that track.
Oh,
And I
that's
can
fine.
bypass these effects by hovering my mouse over the left side of the effects plugin.
I'm just gonna say, I need to reset my Mac because I've had it sit for like since 2015, and like I've got so much shit on there that I just need to get rid of and so I have space. But I do have a hard drive that I paid 200 quid. I don't know why, but like since when were hard drives 200 quid? Please don't judge. Do not judge. I showed you that. I showed you that out of confidence. You know, just think that was my confidence. Shouldn't use that. You just cannot be like, nah, nah, because I know it's shocking. I try. Yeah, and to be fair, that's a good idea every 6 months. But like, I've got stuff that I made from like 3, 4 years ago, and it's like, I just want to keep the memory. I never look back on it, but like, I like to be like, oh, it's still there.
So this top one is a compressor. I can click on it to show the compressor, click again to hide it, but I can also bypass that effect by clicking on the left side of the effects plugin. So I can do that for all of these, and I can hear the original sound.
Also, I'm just going to state again this guy's YouTube because I'm going through all 72 of his videos just for, anyone who is watching. Um, Thank you for the follow. Much love. Thank you. Um, it's Music Tech Help Guy. So if anyone's looking for these videos, it's his, and honestly, he's helped so much. Like, I can't, like, no one can give this guy, like, enough credit, like, than what he's due, because it's like, I don't know, he just helps us, like, this is all free. And, like, I don't know, I'm just very thankful for his YouTube channel. And I just want to make sure everyone knows where I am getting this from. And I think I'm gonna post this on YouTube. So if I do, I don't know if I do. I don't know if I will. But if I do, I'll put his link to like the playlist and everything because one, I don't want to get copyrighted, and two, he deserves it. Much love.
And then I can turn these on and hear the affected sound. In this case, it's almost the same. There's just a bit more compression on it just to control the dynamics. One last area here on the left I want to show you that's actually within the inspector is the Quick Help Inspector. So if you click here, this will show the Quick Help options. And the Quick Help is really helpful if you forget what something is. You can just hover your mouse over that object and it'll give you a definition of what that is. So this is an audio region, this is a MIDI region, this is a pattern region. I can hover over the volume fader and it tells me that that's a volume fader, and so forth and so on. So if you ever get stumped over what something is, just turn on your Quick Help and then hover your mouse over that object and Logic will tell you what you're looking at. Okay, so I'm going to press Y to hide the library. And then on the right, there are 4 browsers that you can show here. This first one is the list editors. We'll come back to these later, but this shows things like MIDI events, markers, tempo, and key signature and time signature changes. The next one is the notepad, and you can double click in here and type in any notes you like. So I find this really helpful to store the lyrics for your project or to write down chord ideas or editing or mixing or mastering notes. The one next to that is the loop library or loop browser.
Yeah, I'm on
As I've shown
downloading
in previous
all
videos,
of
you can
the
press O on your keyboard to toggle the loop browser. I'm
sound
not going to get
packs.
too deep into loops yet because in a future video, I'll do a deep dive on how to use loops.
I'm downloading all the sound packs onto my hard drive. So. Yeah, actually, I'm gonna continue doing that because I thought I had to relocate them one pack at a time, but you don't. Apparently so. Also, I got this. Watched like 2 of his videos before I came on stream. Um, I watched like 2 of his videos, just the basic ones, and like just for stuff like this, and so that's how I put it onto my hard drive. But if anyone wants to know, I'll quickly show you. I assume the majority of you already know all this. However, I don't. This is going to be a diabolical install. Can I install all of them? Hell yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna wait till I've watched all 72 of his videos because I just want to know. Yell just wants to know. Also, please follow me on Instagram so you can watch my guitar videos. I posted a questionable beta version from Mr. Tabs on my Instagram that I used for an audition. And if anyone's interested in my guitar playing, I don't know, much love. And I also catfish like mad. Yeah. Mate, I don't even care. The one thing I want to learn how to do is Photoshop because I would Photoshop myself the fattest ass ever. Like, ever. But I haven't gotten into that yet. Am I joking? Maybe, maybe not. However, I don't know. I feel like I see so many beautiful women on Instagram, and I'm just like, they're so naturally beautiful. But then they'll show like them with a filter on, like, this is me without the filter, and they're still stunning. I'm like, babes, babes, where did you get that gene? Where did you get them genes or plastic surgery from? And I am a stan for plastic surgery. Like, if I had the money, I would get. Trying to think what I'd get. I don't know. I don't really like needles. Honestly, please tell me how to Photoshop so my bikini pics for when I go into Zante look astronomical. I beg. Just send me a link or or a video. Um, no, I get it. I shouldn't be a catfish. But I'm telling you, it's all in the angles anyway. Like, like how you see me now is probably not how I look in real life. You know. Anyway, I'm gonna show you how I did the like hard drive, put my stuff on my hard drive. Please. I'm gonna have a look. But the thing is, like, I wouldn't even try and hide it. I'd be like, yeah, I give myself a 13. So what? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Anyway, yeah, please don't. I want everyone to please take a moment to not judge the space on my like disc on my Mac. I don't know if you can see in the small screen, but like so how I did it to put my stuff on like the sounds onto my hard drive because I do not have enough space on this because I need to reset it because I haven't reset it since 2015. My Mac's very old and slow, but it's still good and I like it. So basically all I did was I opened the sound library manager so that and then I installed the top one. Um it's disabled but because it's installing. But I installed the top one, and then once it was available to relocate the sound library after it like all done that, like downloading and that, and you just move it that way. And then it turns out when you download everything else, it automatically goes onto that. How great! I love it, love it. If anyone was wondering. However, I feel like yous are the teachers here, and I'm here for the ride.
course in Logic
Continue.
how to build an entire musical arrangement with loops and how to navigate and work within the loop browser. And then the very last one allows you to browse through your project files. So it shows all of the audio recordings in the project. And if you click on all files, this allows you to browse through your computer. So if I wanted to go to my desktop, maybe I'll go to my projects folder, and then I can go into some of these other folders and I can locate different
Rick and
audio
Morty
files
season
that can
6.
be dragged right into the project. Or you can just drag and drop them in from the Finder. The last area I want to show you in Logic's interface is actually not just one area,
Yeah.
but several different areas, and these are the editors. Now, depending on what
I'm
type
actually
of
looking in.
content you're working with, if you're working with an audio region or a MIDI region or a pattern region, the editors will be different. So if I double click on an audio region, this brings up the track editor, but you can also switch this over to the file editor or the Smart Tempo editor. Now, when you have an editor pulled up, you can hide and show the editor by pressing E on your keyboard. If I double click on a MIDI region, by default, this will open up the piano roll editor where you can edit your.
I'm gonna quickly make some little yeah, this is my first. I'm trying to give it in the best way. I've used Logic to make songs before, but it's been so long and I felt like I'd never fully in depth in it. I didn't do it in depth enough as I wanted to, and I really want to get more into music production and recording my own songs. I don't know, like even just to put them on like SoundCloud or something. Like I feel like to complete some as a whole, I'd feel so happy, and that's like. But I have made other songs before. They were shocking, I admit. You got me. You got me. However, this is basically I'm starting from scratch. Like but I do have Ableton, but I don't understand very much of it. And right, also if anyone can help me with this at all as well, I beg. Um this is a big ask. So I have really bad latency issues on my Ableton, but it's not on my Mac, it's on my like Windows laptop. But when I go to plug in my Scarlett Solo or like my Line 6 Helix to record like my guitar or bass through, like the latency is so bad. Like I'll play a note and it'll be like 3 seconds later it comes through. And I really don't know how to fix it. Like I've Googled it so much. And it's like, like to the point where I've just given up. So that is why I'm basically on Logic again because of that. Um Matt, I don't know if you can see it. Also, rep the Apple Lucasade. So, I don't know if you can see. My Line 6 Helix is in there because I like to keep it neat. And I don't have a big room. So I just get it out in the day and put it back. And this is my Scarlett Solo. It's so old, but so reliable. Like, I feel like I got it before everything was so much increased in price as well. So, yes, it's very old. Hello. I hope I'm not showing anything sus on my phone there. Make sure our monitor mixes there. Maybe I'll like go on it tomorrow night. So I'm gonna try and do this nightly. Tomorrow night I'll pull it up, and if you are on, I'd appreciate the help if you don't mind. Um, yeah, because I really want to get it working. So I'm just checking to make sure I haven't done anything sus. I don't have any porn in my tab house. Chill. We're chill. Yeah, so that is why I'm using Logic. Like, I really want to learn Ableton, but the fact that I struggled so much to try and record my guitar into it, which is what I'm most passionate about. Minging, disgusting. Yeah, I would appreciate the help, honestly. Much love. I'll gift you in doubloons.
MIDI data. You can also edit the MIDI data in the score editor. The step
Right,
sequencer is
that's right.
grayed out.
We're gonna just make some MIDI shit. Well, music content. What's it? I am on Ashby. Pencil. Let's get that kind of music. Doubloons. I'm not doing anything specific. This is literally just for purposes of going out. So my goal for a night was literally to make a start on this because I'm a big procrastinator. I can't lie. I've been thinking about doing this for years. Um, but now I've streamed it, I have to hold myself liable to do it, which is rough. Can't lie. However, it's worked. So my goals tonight is just to get a basic understanding, and I'm on video free, and I'm happy, and I want to keep going, and that is literally my goal. However, if anyone else wants to give me a little goal, I'm happy to take it. I really am. Um, so I'm going 1, 5, what was it, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6. I'm just going to side. Can use here logic alright, because I feel like I may have to switch my streaming hour to my Mac and do it a bit differently tomorrow. I think I'll have to. So this is the little loop. I'll move my headphones closer so you can hear. Yeah, I do apologise about that, but I will sort it out for tomorrow. So, because I assume the further we get through the videos, the more we'll be using it, and I eventually want to make some little tracks on it. Yeah. So the chord progression is shit. However, it's literally, so we've got C major, is that F major, I think, D minor, and then C major again. Wait, I just want to be sure I'm sure that is F. It is. Because it's the seventh of a major key in it. So it'd be B minor flat 5. It's fine. Having a moment. So this is the little chord progression we've got. I'm gonna try and make sure you can, like, you know, literally only did it just so I can show yous and try this score thing that he's doing. That's neat, that. Love it. I'm gonna go back a little bit.
Pressing E on your keyboard. If I double click on a MIDI region, by default, this will open up the piano roll editor where you can edit your MIDI data. You can also edit the MIDI data in the score editor. The step sequencer is grayed out for this because this is not a pattern region. And then there's the smart tempo editor again. And once again, I can press E to hide the editor. Now, a quick way to access the piano roll editor is to select a region and then press P on your keyboard, and that will quickly open up the piano roll editor. And you can use this to toggle the piano roll editor. Likewise, if I double click on a pattern region, this opens up the step sequencer. And if you double click on a drummer region, this will open up the drummer editor. And once again, you can press E to hide and show this. Now, the very last area I want to show you is the mixer. And Logic's mixer can be opened up by pressing X on your keyboard, and this will toggle the mixer. you can view each track in the tracks area as a channel strip in the mixer. And if you press the left or right arrow keys on your keyboard, you can jump back and forth between these different tracks. You can pull up or down the volume. You can pull the pan left and right. And as I demonstrated before, if you option click on any of these controls, it will reset them back to their default setting. Now, if I wanted to pull the volume of everything in my project up or down, what I could do is hold Shift, select all of those faders, and then pull the volume up or down, and they'll all maintain their relative position.
Did he just swipe and shift there?
Pull the volume up or default setting. Now, if I wanted to pull the volume of everything in my
Mm-hmm,
project up or
mm-hmm.
down, what I could do is hold Shift, select all
Oh,
of those faders, and then pull the volume up or down, and they'll all maintain their relative position.
I have nothing in all these. Pretty sure they're buses as well.
Now, when I pulled up the volume of all of these tracks, you can see that the stereo output, again, which is sort of like the main output of Logic's mixer, is peaking or clipping. It means that the volume level is going beyond what its maximum volume can be. And here it's showing that it's going above the maximum level by 1 dB. So you always want to make sure that your stereo output is not clipping as you are mixing a project. And to get rid of your clips, you can just click on the clip indicator or peak indicator, and it will clear those clips or clear the peaks. I tend to use the word peak and clip in the exact same way, although there is a difference between peaking and clipping, depending on what type of gear or what type of equipment you're using. There's an additional master fader that controls the volume output of the entire project, and this is actually duplicated up here in the upper right. So this right here is just a sort of a shortcut to control your master fader. Now, there are various uses for the master fader that we'll get to later on in the series, but for now, you should just be keeping your stereo out and master fader at unity, which basically means no added or reduced gain. So I just tend to option click on these and set them both to 0. Now, if you find that the channel strips are a bit too small for your liking, you
sorry.
can click right here, and this will expand the size.
All I think about when he said unity is, you know, that episode from Rick and Morty when Unity and Rick get together and she takes our, I can't remember where she takes our, somewhere in America. She takes our and that's all I think about. I'm a big lover of Rick and Morty. So much.
And create wider channel strips, but I'm okay with the smaller channel strips. So that is a flyover of the Logic Pro user interface. In the next video, we'll dive into the LCD display and transport controls. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave it a thumbs up and subscribe.
We're gonna thumbs up his video. I'm gonna thumbs up all his videos. So we're good like that.
This plugin helps you finish your tracks way faster. Check this out.
Don't know. Don't know.
And welcome
Want
to
him.
part 4 of my ultimate guide to Logic Pro. So now let's talk about navigating and playing back your project on the timeline using the
His mic looks like a saber. I don't officially have a band at the moment. However, I do play for people, but it's never like it's never I am fully a part of their band. I was gonna join like a few bands and I just didn't. One of them said that I wasn't really a good fit for them, which is fair enough. I respect it, to be honest. Like, you know what I mean? And they were a really good band though, and I really enjoyed playing for them. But sometimes, like, I feel like they were quite a bit older than us, and if you don't fit in, you don't fit in. Um, but they said that they really loved my playing, they just didn't think it was a correct fit, which I totally get. Like, you know, you need to feel comfortable within a band, and you know, that's fine. I'm just taking my time until when I go back to uni, I'm gonna join a band. I want to make a band. I want it to be like Jamiroquai X with 9 Inch Nails, like Imagine and Daft Punk. Like I want an electronic element to it, but I still want it to be very guitar based. However, I am joining a band, but bass, um, which I'm very excited for. This is like my little summer extravaganza. So I'm very excited. However, for my guitar, I'm not in a band as of yet. I just feel like I haven't come. A lot of people have asked, and I have been interested in a lot of people. But as I said, I think I want to create my own band and focus on it. However, I do I do paid work, so like for theatre shows and that. So if they want me, I will go do it, and that's why I'm trying to get better at sheet music. See, that'd be sick. Guitar music with a synth. I kind of want to turn my guitar into a synth. Like I've seen this guy MIDI his guitar. And I was just amazed. Wow, like that's mad. And on my Helix, I like to like write songs a lot with like reverse and synthy-esque pedal tones. That's why I want to learn this so I can really like delve in and record. It'll be like a pistachio ice cream. Big on them pistachios, I can't lie. I so that is my plan. Um, but yes, I want to get into more bands and more music, and I'm sure that's why I'm thinking I'm gonna stop playing like games on my channel, or if I do, it's gonna be yeah. Oh yeah, yeah boy, yeah boy. I'm trying to become a shredder as well. Like also, like I want to be like an amazing. I just want to be good. That's it. But I am. It takes so much work. But I enjoy being in pain, to be honest, and angry on my guitar. It gives me life. Top tier, top tier. Don't be a tappy tap. Real, real. I do. Yeah. I also realised that I'm a bit of a shit improviser, so I'm really working on that as well. I'm trying to wiggle finger first. Wow. Yeah. I'm trying to think what I'm on learning. I'm on learning like grade eight. Oh, I'm on learning. When I say I'm on learning this song, I haven't played it in like a month. I'm gonna get back on learning it tomorrow because I've just been hammering out my grade eight stuff because I really want to go in for my test. But I've been on The American Nightmare by Ice Nine Kills, and I'm basically on the opening riff. It's like I think it's 130 semiquavers in 3/4, and I'm nearly there. Like I know. Like I go through. I've got like a big list of scales I go through. It's just figuring out where. Like I've got this graph on my iPad, and it shows you like on a C major, like C major, A minor. It shows you like all the scales from 12, like all for the 12 frets, like the first octave, and it shows you like where all of them are and the transferable. And so I'm going from that and learning to improvise around there because I don't want it just to be the pentatonic scales. Uh, like I'm fine with that. I want it to have like flavor and I don't know. I am no guitar god, but I want to be. Yeah. When you're seeing that, do you mean like fifth scale? Perfect fifth. Do you mean like following the chords? Because I also want to learn that as well. Like I do try. And following the chords and that in solos. And I'll probably just come on here with my guitar. I'm just yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I know what you mean. And then it sounds sick as well. And like for the grade 8 pieces that I've chosen, you have to I think you have to improvise on all of them. But the ones that I've picked, I have to improvise on them. And I want to improvise more around the chords rather than playing it loosely because it sounds better. But as I said, it is a lot of work and I'm trying. Any advice would be greatly appreciated.
the
On
transport
onwards.
controls. I'll also demonstrate several time-saving key commands and shortcuts that will help to speed up your Logic Pro
Also, quick side, actually,
workful. And you
okay.
know what else
So
is a
shoot any
huge
of
time
us.
saver? The sponsor for this video, Boombox. Boombox.io is a really cool new service for
While he's talking
audio
about
and
this, I'll
music
tell you
professionals
about
looking to collaborate with other musicians, producers, or mixing clients. With
I really
Boombox,
want
you
to
can
tell you
batch
about my
upload your
wild
mixes,
time
stems,
in
multi-track, or
Amsterdam,
rough musical
but like,
ideas,
I think
invite
it's a bit too
collaborators to
rogue.
your project, and receive detailed production feedback
But
on your
like,
tracks.
it's so
All of the
interesting.
feedback
Like,
is
I'm gonna mute this and
time-stamped,
talk
so you can
about
easily
it.
pinpoint
I, f- I want to tell like my random stories because I feel like sometimes I'm the type of person to do shit for the plot, and I'd go up to some wild fucking rogue shit in Amsterdam. But it was so good, and I just want to tell you about it. But maybe that's not a story for me. We're just getting back in here. Do you know what I mean? Like this is the first one back. I'm trying to be chill. I really am trying to be chill with yes and respect boundaries. All about that. Well, actually, I
I'm
will
going to
unmute.
use the same free demo
Mm.
project I included in the previous video, so I'll link to that below if you want to follow along. Now, we've already talked about how to play and stop with the spacebar, but you can manually start.
Right, I think then I'm gonna I'm gonna download the I'm gonna download this because he seems to be using it a lot, and I want to be in on this. Boundaries are there. Just was wild, my friend, wild. No, I will tell you about the stories. It's such a beautiful city. But like, also, I've never felt more ugly in my entire life. Because when we walk past the windows, like the rooms to rent, the women are gorgeous. Like, I don't know why, but I've always had this thing. Like, one of my favorite like attires is to be like a sexy secretary, right? And I saw like so many women giving off that sexy secretary vibe, and I was like, whoa, 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 whoa. Font follower. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Like I've never loved it more. Um, but like there's some proper creeps there, like going up and like staring in the windows. But like the women seem to be very well protected. Like there is people there to watch out on that for them. Um, yeah. However, I didn't see any male ones. I'm sorry, right, but like people are like women wouldn't pay for sex. I tell you what, that is a fucking lie. That is a lie. Like I don't know. Like I think if it came to it, I would. I'm not even gonna lie. If I'm just downloading this, by the way, if some man was like really attractive, and I was like, at that point when you're single, you just like, God damn, I just need like a hook. I just need intimacy. I would. And I feel like there's no shame in it. Right, I'm gonna hide my Logic screen a second. Not for anything sus. Literally just to download this. But I like, yeah, no, the women were beautiful. We do. Like, Me and my friends always say we're no better than men. We're really not. People are like, women, women don't think about sex that much. What are you lying for? What are you lying for? It's, you do. I'm telling you, it's fucking wrong. Um, I'm just finding this man's fake drawer. Hmm, the wrong thing. Ooh. Um, Nah, women I know better than men. I love women, especially you'd know a lot. How would you? What if I'm Southern? What if I'm offended by it? What if I am from that? What if I'm from London? Shouldn't judge. I could be from London, and you'd never know. Or would you? I would definitely know. I am from the north. I try and gaslight. You can't blame a gal for trying. Do you know what I mean? Right. Sorry, I will. We will be back on the grind. We just need to get this. Mm, yes. Go to site now. Damn you women. What does that even do? Well, my free demos that using original blah blah. Mm, mm, filth. Wild, man. Wild. I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like when I'm at home, people up north really go all out. I also go all out. Like when I went out in, I went to go see Phantom of the Opera. It was so good. And when I went out, like I love this either way, but this is just like a point I'm stating. Um, like us people up here will go out in like heels and dresses in like January when it's fucking snowing. Where I feel like Southerners, I might be wrong, but Southerners are like so much more chilled and so much more aware of the weather. Like we need to be like that. We need to be aware. Come on, the hard drive. We need to be aware of that weather. Like freezing our tits off. Do you know what I mean? But like, I love it. Mm, that is basically. But then I have some Southern mates who are also very dressed up. People around near me are too like trying not to make themselves look a fool. Yeah, I feel like the last thing you want to be is uptight. But then, I don't know. Clothes, Dawson. Yeah, I feel like there's no need to be uptight. Just relax, sit back, have a cig. Do you know what I mean? Right, we're back. We're back in action, and I've got it. Oh, oh, oh. No, love all women equally and men, as long as you're not like a nonce about or a rapist. Right, I have values, but I love everyone equally, especially Adam Driver. Sorry. Love Adam Driver. Big Adam Driver stan. Big.
Start playback with the play button in the transport. And then click the stop button to stop playback. After stopping playback, the stop button becomes the go-to beginning button, which returns the playhead back to the beginning of your timeline. But it's much faster just to press return, and this will do the same thing. On the left side, you have rewind and forward. So forward jumps the playhead forward by 1 bar at a time, and rewind sends the playhead backward by 1 bar at a time. There are some really helpful shortcuts for this. If you use the comma and period keys, you can use these to jump forward and jump back by 1 bar at a time. I like to think of these.
I never knew that. Right. That's getting written down. Also, all my pens keep dying, so I've got like new pens. It's a tragic life we're living out here. God damn. Yeah. Um. Right. I'm sorry. I was just having a moment. I didn't even know what was going on in life. What time is it? Oh, it's only on. I've recently, like, while I'm not at work, I've been getting up really early over there to go to the gym. That is a shame. The band I'm joining's in Washington. I feel like the galleries is there. However, I feel like all the shops up here. Also, I just can't believe you don't have coupons back in at your ends. Like, not having coupons is wild to me. I love coupons. Okay. One banner. Coupons. You have coupons. Oh, my mate from. I know you're not really southern, are you? From what I remember, but my mate who, well, it's not really my friend. I used to work with him, but he was a lovely person, so I'd class him as my friend. He was like, he was southern, and he was like, "What's coupons?" I was like, "Coupons? You don't know what coupons is?" Oh, I guess Hull's like Midlands, innit? I'm glad you've got coupons. It means a lot to me. I can't lie. Coupons. Right, carrying on.
By their secondary function, the left and right greater than less than brackets. And if you hold shift while using these keys, you can jump forward by 8 bars at a time or jump back by 8 bars at a time. So this is really helpful for jumping around and navigating around in your session and to make sure that the playhead is on the correct bar. To the right of the play button, there is a record button. We'll come back to this when we get into MIDI recording and audio recording. But as I demonstrated in a previous video, you can just press R on your keyboard to record. But the next one over is the cycle range. If you click on that, you'll see this range here light up in yellow. This is the cycle range, and the left and right side of the cycle range are called the left and right locators. Now, the locators and cycle range can be used for a lot of things, but the number one thing I tend to use it for when it comes to playback and transport is for looping certain areas. The cycle mode is, technically speaking, a loop mode. So with this highlighted in yellow, you can click on it directly as well. I can put this over here, say on bar 5, and then what I'll do is I'll trim this up to bar 8, or the end of bar 8, and now when I press play, it'll just loop these 4 bars indefinitely. And one thing I really love about the cycle range is even if the playhead is over here, if the cycle range is active and you press spacebar, the playhead will jump all the way over to the beginning of the cycle range. There are also some helpful shortcuts with the cycle range. If you want to hide and show it, you can just press C on your keyboard, and this will toggle the cycle range. Additionally, you can drag over a selection of regions and press Command U, and this will activate the cycle range, but also set the cycle range to the duration of the region selection that you've made. So I find this is really helpful for jumping around to different
Command
sections in
Q.
your project. So if I want to
Oh,
listen to this area, I can just Command U.
oh
Or if I want
no.
to jump over here, I can select all of this, press Command U again, then spacebar again.
One sec. I don't know what I've done. Chefs. Oh no. I have some work related stuff that I have to keep confidential. No, like be like, oh, just policy. So I can't really be showing that. I'm so confused. I don't think I've got anything on this laptop. So we're good. We're safe. Mm. It's definitely not Command Q. It's Command U. Oh no. Mm. Shift this to the side. We unfortunately have got stuck with this additional sound library thing. Can't get rid of it. I don't know how to get rid of it. I have no idea what I've done. Right. I think we're all right. Should we stop? Yeah. We don't need to know that. We're just gonna shove it in the corner and hope for the best. Right, we're back. We're fine. All is well. Hell yeah. I'm glad you get to see your friend again. It's so, like, good when you see your friends again, like from far away.
So there's all sorts of helpful ways you can use the cycle range. In addition to the transport controls, you also have the display up
Command
here,
U.
which tells you various information about your project as well as the playhead position. So if you click on this little down arrow here, you'll see there are different modes for the display. So right now it's on beats and project. So this shows you the bar and beat position of the playhead. So if I click, say here, this is saying I'm at bar 9, beat 3. The tempo of the song is 120 BPM. If you want to change that, you can just double click and type in a new tempo. So let me go with like 150 BPM. And depending on what type of content you're using, the regions may conform to the tempo change or they may not. Since I'm using mostly Apple loops here and a few MIDI recordings, all of these regions should conform to the new tempo change.
Yeah, I know.
150 is probably a bit fast, so let me try 128. In addition to the tempo, you can also set the time signature here, or the meter, and then
When I pressed Command U, it screenshots. I'll do it now so you can see. It just screenshots. It doesn't do that for me. It may need an update or something though, so I do not know. I cry. This.
then you can also set the key, We'll talk more about this when we get into building a song with loops and how setting the key is really important for certain other elements in your project. But for now, I've set this to C minor. Now, other modes that you can choose from here, there's a beats and project large. There's a beats and time, which shows you beats and time in hours, minutes, and seconds. You have beats and time large. You have just beats, just time. And then my favorite is custom mode, which shows you time, beats. It also shows you the locator selection. So you can see right here as I move the locators around, you can see that the locator selection changes. So the top value is the left locator, and the bottom value is the position of the right locator. And then when you press C to bypass cycle mode, this grays out. Once again, you can adjust the tempo here. There are some smart tempo options. We'll come back to smart tempo later in the series. Your meter, your grid division, we'll come back to this when we start working with MIDI.
Grid.
And no in and no out is your MIDI input and output meter. So if I select one of my software instruments here, and if I play a note on my MIDI controller, you'll see that no in show the MIDI channel, the MIDI note, as well as the velocity of the MIDI note.
Yes. I do have my
And what's cool about this
MIDI
is it'll
line
also
for
show
the
you the chords that you play in. So if I play a C minor 7 chord, for example, it'll actually show
that a
you the
seven?
name of the chord. So if there's a chord
no.
that you're not really sure what it's called, just play it in on your MIDI controller and the MIDI input will show you the name of that chord. So that's an E
I've got big
flat
enough
major
fingers.
7. And to the right of that are the CPU and hard drive meters. You can double click on either of these and this brings up the same dialog. So this is the performance
Oh,
meter. It
yeah, I missed
shows
that.
you all of your processing, and this brings up the same dialog. 7. And to the right of that are the CPU and hard drive meters. You can double click on either of these and this brings up the same dialog. So this is the performance meter. It shows you all of your processing cores or threads. So you can see I have a 8-core processor and 16 total threads. And it also shows you the hard drive usage as well. This is not how much of your hard drive is being used. It's the amount of information that is being accessed on your drive. So if you have too much stuff you're trying to pull off the drive all at the same time, you'll see that the drive I/O meter goes up closer to the top. But you can see with a small project like this, Logic is barely using any processing power. So that's the transport controls and display in Logic Pro. In the next video, we'll move on to saving and managing your Logic projects, including an explanation of the difference between project packages and project folders. Don't forget to check out the sponsor for today's video, Boombox. It's a really helpful service I use.
We're gonna like this vid and because we're hard like that. Yeah. Feel like we'll get through this vid and then I'll end it. The sponsor. Sponsor.
I ordered 200 hand-forged knives for my dorm room and built a Wix website to sell them.
Hey everyone, this is Music Tech Help Guy and welcome to part 5 of my ultimate guide to Logic Pro. The way Logic stores its project files is pretty unique in that it gives you 2 different options. You can use Logic project packages, which are all-in-one files that contain your entire Logic project, or you can use Logic project folders, which are a more traditional way of storing your Logic projects in a folder hierarchy. Both methods have their pros and cons and specific ways to manage and save, which I'll cover in this video. But first, I want to talk about the sponsor of today's video, Boombox. If you're a musician, beatmaker, producer, check it out for yourself, and you'll get...
To be fair, I'd rep the sponsors. We love people sponsoring people as long as they're good sponsors and good people. If not, can't be having that. Cannot be having that. Anyway, I'm just skipping the sponsor because I'm gonna get ready for bed. I'll take my makeup off, do my face routine that I have to do twice a day, every day. Even if I'm levered No stress. You're welcome. And I don't have a big head. Disgraceful. Right, I'm not even going to show you as my hairline because if you're saying I've got a big head now, wait till you see my hairline. I'm not receding. I've got a widow's peak. I don't have the biggest head. Honestly, don't make me come out there and watch, watch.
Get 10 gigabytes of free storage space. So in order to explain how project packages and folders are different, I first need to go through some of the project saving options in Logic. So if you go up to File, you'll see there are 4 options to save. You have Save, Save As, Save a Copy As, and Save As Template. We're
So
going to
much
skip the
option.
template option for now. But if your project is already saved in the location you want and in the format you want, you can just click here to save or press Command S. However, if you want to save your project in a different location or in a different format, you're going to use the Save As option, which you can access by pressing Shift Command S. This will bring up the Save dialog, and just so you're aware, sometimes this is minimized. You can click here to sort of maximize this so you can see the full sort of Finder view and have a better idea of where you're saving to. Now, I already added my Logic Projects folder to my sidebar in a previous lesson, so I could save this here, or I could try saving this to my desktop. I'm going to go ahead and do that, and I'll just call this Demo Project 1. Now, down at the bottom, there are 2 options to organize your project. You can organize these as a package or a folder. I'm going to do both, but first let me explain these other options down here. So these control what you want to copy into your project. By default, with most projects, you really only need to copy audio files into your project. Stuff like samples, alchemy samples, ultrabeat samples, impulse responses, which are reverb impulse responses from Space Designer, movie files, and other Apple Sound Library content. These things are all stored on your computer as long as you downloaded the full sound library. So it's really not necessary to add all of these into your project. It more or less just wastes space. However, if you're going to be sending your project over to another collaborator or moving a project between 2 different computers, or maybe you're sending your project over to a mixing engineer, you may want to opt to include these just to make sure that your collaborator has all of the content in the project and they're not missing anything. I'm going to turn these on just for demonstration purposes, and I'm going to save 2 copies of this. I'm going to save one project package, so I'll go ahead and do that now, and then I'll go up to Save As again, and this time I'm going to save this as a folder, and since this is a folder, I'll just call it Demo Project 1 Folder. So I'll give it a little different name there, and then save it. Okay, so before I get into packages and folders, I want to show you this last option up here. This is called Save a Copy As. Save a Copy As creates a copy of your project, but after saving, you will.
Hello, sorry, I just saw your message. I'm using Logic Pro X purely because it's easier for me to understand and I feel like it's easier to record stuff in. However, I know there is a lot better DAW softwares. I've never used FL Studio. I feel like I've just only ever known this. And I've tried to use Ableton, but I couldn't figure out like the latency. And I had a latency issue. What would you say is better with FL? Because I'm interested. Oh, what can you do? What would you say is the main difference? And what would you say is better than it? Because I know Logic's super basic, and I feel like Logic's a good start point. However, I want to know what crazy stuff you can do with that. Because I know on Ableton, for what I used, like the little time I used it, like there was so much, it was so much better than Logic. But I left it because I could never figure out my latency issue with recording. I might have a look at it. I feel like I want to learn this and then progressively move out to Ableton. But I don't know. Yeah. Do you have a latency issue on Ableton or FL? Because whenever I play my guitar, it's like I like to hear it obviously being played coming through my headphones. So I'm playing using headphones. And like even when I've used speakers, it's still the same issue. Like I know, but I went through two different. So I went through my Line 6 Helix and it was still the same issue. And I went through my Focusrite and it was like DI, so I DI'd it. And then I was like, oh well, I'll try using an actual microphone. And it was still the exact same issue. So I don't know. I feel like I'm definitely doing the latency wrong, like the buffer size. But I'm gonna be on here tomorrow night as well, and I'm gonna bring it up like during the first bit of my stream, just so people can help me. Please help me. I would. I'm gonna have a look into FL. I've heard of it, but I've never actually like looked. I'm gonna have a quick look now actually. I wanna have a look like what the bass looks like. FL Studio. I feel like it looks like a hybrid between Logic and Ableton. It looks like Ableton. Yeah, I definitely want to use Ableton. But then I eventually want to buy a new Mac. Because mine's from 2015 and like it will not handle Ableton. So I use Ableton on Windows. Obviously, I don't really know Windows that well. So I eventually, when I get a new Mac, I'm gonna get Ableton on that. Black green. Yeah, I feel like it is such a struggle as well. But if it's not one thing, it's the other. That's why I'm starting from scratch. And like when I get Ableton on a Mac, I'm gonna start from scratch again. I feel like it's the only way. It's like I found so many little things that I didn't know before. Also, again, rep this guy because he's got like 72 videos. It's music tech help guy, and he literally like he just gives all the information for free. So I know you use FL Studios, but you might have some on that. I don't know. But oh,
Will
damn.
still go back to working in your original project. So to demonstrate this, just remember that the project I'm currently working in is demo project 1 folder. If I then go to save a copy as, this will just attempt to save a copy of the Logic project file inside of my existing project folder. And if you're not inside of a folder, it'll create a new folder or package, depending on what you selected previously. However, notice that it does not give you an option to change.
I have to finish writing this paper. I'm
Oh,
swamped.
Just
darling.
get Grammarly. It's free.
Can it help with what I wrote last night?
Grammarly will catch all.
Your project
Oh,
format. And
hello.
what you'll
Thank you
see is
for
I'm
joining
still working
again.
in demo project 1.
I saw your stream the other day, but I couldn't click on it because I was at work. But I was having a little scroll through, and it looked so cool. I'm all right. I'm all right. Thank you. How are you? I've I've had quite a lovely day, to be honest. I'm really cutting back on like reels because, right, I don't care what people say, but I like it cannot just be me. I've spoken to so many people and it's like a 50-50. Some people are like, yeah, I have mad addiction to social media. And then others are like, I just switch off. I cannot switch off. I've put all my social media on my iPad, so it's not on my phone. I'm like a fiend. I am a fiend. Thank you. I will definitely come in on your stream and chat on your stream. I've been quite busy recently, so but I have 2 weeks off, so now I'll be in. I'm not going crazy yet. Always going crazy. But I'm currently just going through um Logic Pro. That is fine. I changed my username right at the start. It used to be smiley face 9850, but then I just changed it to my name because I was like, I don't know. I didn't want to seem childish. However, I feel like, but thank you for joining. I do really appreciate it. And I will defo hop skibbity bop into your stream these next 2 weeks. 100%. Also, I'd love to know what you've been doing on your guitar as well. Honestly, do not worry about it at all.
One folder. I'm not working in that other project that I just saved a copy of. So this is different than save as, where you continue working in the save as project after you use the save as function. And the only time I really use save a copy as is when I'm trying to make a quick backup on an external drive while working from my internal drive, or if I want to create multiple project files within a single project folder, like different versions of a mix, for example. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and close out Logic now. So I'll just press Command Q to quit Logic. Okay, so now I'm out on my desktop. You can
That's
see
what I
the
did
project
before.
folder and the project package for Demo Project 1. I'm going to go ahead and press Command N to create a new Finder window. And I'm going to go to the desktop just so I can view this in list form. Now, project folders are a folder that contain all of the audio files and the project file for the entire project. So this is the Logic project file. There's a folder for freeze files. If you've created any bounces or you have any like samples in your project, you'll see other folders in here as well. And inside audio files, you'll see all of the audio files that are inside of your project. I like this format because it allows me to easily create folders inside of the project folder for things like samples and loops and other content that I want to have easy access to, even things like demo bounces, demo mixes, lyric sheets, chord sheets, things like that. So for me, I feel like folders are a
I'll
better
have to
way
come on your
to
stream and
organize
listen to your
my
song. I'd love to
projects.
hear it.
Now, in terms
What
of
what
just
type of song
moving
did you write?
projects
Like what
around
genre?
and sharing projects with other people,
The
project
music's going
packages
very
are
good.
easier
I am
for that
locked in at the
because
moment with my
project
guitar
packages are
and
just
music
all in
theory.
one project files that contain all of the project
I want to
data.
get better
And
at
if I double
production.
click on
So
this
this is
project
this is my new
package, it's
goal,
just going to open
production.
up Logic. It's not going to open up a folder. However, there is a trick where you can sort
Also, just so you're aware as well, I know before I feel like you came on my stream when I was playing Black Ops Zombies, but I think I'm gonna take like a little bit of a step back from gaming at the moment. I feel like I still will do the odd stream of gaming, but like I don't know, I feel like I have to focus on things that are gonna benefit me more. As much as I love playing games, I still play games, but like I feel like a stream's a big commitment, and I want to stream things that I know I'm gonna learn from. But I do enjoy it. I do enjoy it. But I will be playing games, but a lot less. Sheesh. I'd love to hear. Have you got a link? If you have a link, put it on in the chat, and or you can send it to us privately, and I would love a listen, to be honest.
of explore the content inside of your project package. If you just right click or control click on it and then
Hello, my
select
good
show
friend
package
Perry.
contents, this will open this up in a folder hierarchy. And then you can go
You're up late. You should be.
into media, audio files, and you'll see all of your audio files in there. However, you do just have to take that extra step and show the package contents. Now, another really important thing to understand is when you're sharing a Logic project with someone else, like a collaborator or a mix engineer, it's best to compress the entire folder or package as a zip file. So to do that, you just select the project folder or package, right-click or control-click and select compress.
I will have a listen
And this will create
after
a
I
zip
finish my
file,
stream.
and you can
Thank
just
you.
send that
I
single
cannot
zip
wait.
file over to your
Love listening
collaborator.
to people's
One
music.
big mistake I see from a lot of beginners is they'll go into their project folder and just zip the zip file over to your collaborator. One big mistake I see from a lot of beginners is they'll go in, and this will select the project folder or package, right-click or control-click and select compress. And this will create a zip file, and you can just send that single zip file over to your collaborator. One big mistake I see from a lot of beginners is they'll go into their project folder and just zip the Logic project file without zipping the entire folder. The problem with this is that the
Definitely not
project
done that
file
before.
doesn't contain any of the audio content. So if you send just a zipped project file, your collaborator is not going to see or hear any of the audio.
Oh, not the doge. Not the doge. You need to just chase your dog around for a bit. I'm trying to think what else you could do to tire your dog out. I don't know. I just grab my dog's favourite bone, run around a bit, and then it's good luck with your dog for the zoomies.
Content when they receive the project on their end. So just remember, if you're working with project folders and you want to make sure that your collaborator gets all of the content in your project, compress the entire Logic project folder as a zip file. So that's how you can save your projects in Logic Pro and the difference between project packages and folders. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. As always,
Honestly, someone give this man some minge. I'm telling you right now. Why does a god like this exist? I think he could be Jesus. Not religious about, however. Right. We don't know if I stop it here or go on for a bit. I feel like we can go on for like a little bit more. Maybe not the full next video. I know it's going to be hard to... No, I don't think so, mate. Don't want your shit ads. He's so
and
cool.
welcome to part 6 of my ultimate guide to...
If I was a man, I would wear like I'd be like either a cowboy or a trucker. I feel like I would be the #1 ultimate trucker. You know, I'd have my hat, I'd have like a white t-shirt. My jeans would be like so far down my ass that no belt could help. It'd be gorge.
Logic Pro. In this video, I'll demonstrate how the
The
grid works in
grid.
Logic, and I'll also explain the different
Neutron.
grid values.
Neutron
this is an
soon.
essential part of not just producing music and editing, but also really basic functions like placing and moving elements and regions around on your timeline. So it's really important for you to understand how the grid works before we jump into actual music making, which we will get to in part 7. I'll demonstrate most of the grid snap features, and I'll also demonstrate the difference between using an absolute grid snap versus a relative grid snap. I also want to take a moment to tell you about the sponsor.
I've actually been writing a song. I'm going to make this while I goes the sponsor because we rep him, but I like to chat. But I'm a big yapper. Of course, I still take this one. As I said, I was on writing a song with the chord progressions you give us, and it sounded so sick. Like, this is why I'm learning production, so I can take what I've been like writing and put it on and like really make something of it. Like, it'll be shit, but it'll be like my shit. Gorgeous. Not like when Katie Price got shat on, it'll be like wholesome. You know what I mean? I can't sing though, so I feel like it would either be instrumental or I'll have to like con one of my mates into doing it for us. Like, please, sir, or madam.
And get 10 gigabytes of free storage. Okay, so to demonstrate the grid, I'm going to start by adding just a basic...
I'm sorry, every time he says the grid, I think of Tron. and Daft Punk. I actually can't. I can't now. I don't really have like a good acoustic. Like at the moment, I'm looking for like a good acoustic though. Like I definitely want one, and like I have, I've been saving up for one, so I've got like money to buy a decent acoustic. I think like I wouldn't want to spend more than 500 though. But I know it's quite a lot, 500 to spend on guitar, but I feel like I'd want like a second-hand one. And I know I'd actually use it for shows and that. And I know it'd be worth it. So that's why I feel like I can justify that money on a guitar. I have one, like an acoustic. I just don't really enjoy playing it. Like, it's so uncomfy to play. Like, the neck's so chunk. And, like, the body of it's so thick. Like, I ain't got lengthy arms. Like, my arms ain't really that lengthy. So it's like, I don't know how to, it's like, you know, when you dig a big hole at the beach and you get to that certain part in the beach where you cannot dig no more in the hole. It's like that. But yeah, I feel like, I don't know how committed I want to be because, like, I could go up to, like, if I see a guitar and obviously I'd try it first. If I saw one that was like 800 and I'd have to be convinced that that would be the one though. Like, I feel like 500 would be where I'm happy at because, yeah, I will play it a lot, but I'll never play it as much as I play my electric guitars. Well, it'd be so cool to play, like, I don't know. I don't know. I definitely do want acoustic, and I am looking for one. I feel like as soon as I see, like, one that could potentially be, like, I'm not looking in depth, I'm just having a nice look every now and then, you know, having a browse, just a little browse. But as soon as I see one, that's it. So as I said, like any suggestions for like any guitar suggestions, please put in and I will have a look into them. However, I feel like Taylor's are so spenny, but I have played one. My old guitar teacher had one and it was the smoothest thing ever to play, apart from PRS. But like acoustic wise, it was so smooth to play and I thoroughly enjoyed playing it. But like, I don't know if I'm willing to spend 800 quid. Yeah. I definitely have to play it. Like, I would never buy a guitar without playing it because I feel like I'm very picky, and I know this isn't an excuse, but I do have like I haven't got the biggest hands, so like whenever I buy a guitar, I always think as long as I can put my whole hand around the 14th fret together, or as close as if it's quite close, I'll buy it if I like it, of course. Like that's my I don't know why it probably doesn't work for everything, but it kind of works. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have like a look. I definitely want like a more high end one, but I feel like I'm more than happy. Like I know for that price it would have to be second hand, but I'm happy to have a second hand guitar. Like I know what I'm looking for, and I have people like if I'm like oh like is could this be a problem? Like could if there's like a mat in the wood in the body that could be an issue. Like I know I've got people I could go to and be like, look, listen, do you think this is going to cause me like a problem? Yeah, I'd only like to justify getting a second hand guitar, it'd have to be a guitar that I really want and that I know is like, yeah, I know what you mean. To be fair, I don't think I'd buy a Squire or an Epiphone. Like when I first started playing, I had like, I've still got it actually. It's like in EP.1 SG, and like at the start it was amazing, but like now when I play it, it's like I'm like, this is a bag of fucking shit. Yeah, I feel like you really realize once you start playing like more guitars how shit some are.
Kick drum loop to my
Onwards.
project. So I'm going to go up here, open up the loop browser, and I'm just going to search up kick. And the one I'm looking for is this one here called Angelic Solo Kick. I can
I might stop here because I don't think all my loops have downloaded yet. Maybe they have. But I don't think they have. Like, we haven't. We shall continue. Oh,
click on the loop to audition it. And I can click again to stop. So what I'll do is drag this onto.
yeah, I think I'm gonna end this here. Do you know what? No, we're gonna carry on. We're gonna carry on because we're out like that. I'll finish this bid, and then I shall be done for the night. I'll go. Actually, I'm on reading a book, and my book's quite a chunk. Yeah, I feel like I know what I want. I feel like I'm happy that I'm not gonna get conned. I nearly got conned once before. It wasn't really a con. Like, it was no one's fault. Um, so this is when I first started playing. Like, I bought a bass and it it had a broken truss rod, and luckily, obviously, I realised. Do you know what I mean? And so I took it back to the shop, and they literally give me like such a much better bass, like the bass I've got now. I'll show you. I hope you have a lovely sleep, my friend. I want you a dream of princesses and princes. Mm. So the bass I've got now is slutty. I need to change my strings. We won't judge here, but it's so slutty. Like, it's chunk, and it's really thin neck as well. Like, that's like my whole hand. I mean, 14 fret on the bass is a bit different, but like, you know what I mean? It's nice. It's a nice side. But so basically, I swapped it out, and I only had to pay like weird sound from it. I only had to pay like a tenner extra, and it was like 100 odd more. So it was like beautiful, beautiful. Right, onwards, onwards now. Right, so we've
To an
got that.
existing audio track, or you can drag this below your lowest track to create a new audio track. So I'll go ahead and just delete this other audio track, and then I'll zoom in. Now this is what's called a 4 on the floor kick drum loop, meaning that there's one kick hit per quarter note or per beat. Now when you're in 4/4 time, this means that you have 4 beats per measure or 4 beats per bar. So this number here is bar 1, bar 2, bar 3, bar 4. Those are your bar line numbers, and you can see that there are 4 kicks per bar. And if I turn on my metronome by clicking here, you'll hear that the
I
metronome
think I have
syncs
another
up with.
file open. Do I? Doesn't say I do, but I'm getting mad feedback. Yeah, but investigate. I'm gonna have to investigate this. I don't even know why I'm getting. I do. I do. It's good. All is good. I've realised. Alright, we're not
That
getting.
sounds so clean.
I have no idea what is going on. No, I don't think so. No. Well, sorry. We'll be back. Has this done it? What are you lying for? What are you lying for? Right, we sorted it. I was just being a bit special, guys. It's fine. It's a Court Deluxe, and I think it was originally like I got it for such a good price as well. It was originally like 300 and odd quid, and the base I bought before was like 200 and some. I can't remember exactly, but it was like if you give us a 10 more, I'll give you it. And this was like I'll say 3 years ago or something, and I was like, yeah. But it was a sad time because it was like a black base as well. It was slutty, but not as slutty as the one I have now.
The kick drum. So why is the grid so important? Well, the grid in any DAW shows you musical timing values and serves as a reference for tempo, rhythm, quantizing, MIDI notes, etc. Without the grid, everything you placed on the timeline would just be a free-for-all with no reference for where you are in the natural beat or groove.
I don't know why, but I feel like here's a good place to leave it, and I'm so tired. Like, so tired. I need to go sleep. Yeah, that is a shame. Did you drop your tail? I'd cry, to be honest. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna go to sleep and be like, however, I dream pure shit. Like, so much shit. I'm gonna read my book a bit before I go to bed. And then probably scroll. But I'll have to scroll on my iPad because I've took everything off before. So I'm laid in bed and like I have my iPad and I'll just be like scrolling on it. It looks so goofy, but it works. It works. But I feel like I always have such B-tech ways of doing stuff in life, but like we've got to live. Yeah, no, that is actually. I'm gonna show you my iPad. So this is me being in bed like this, and like it blinds us, and I'm like, do you know what I mean? We've got to do it somewhere. It's kind of diabolical, but it works. And I get such stupid, goofy things on my For You page as well. My favorite, right? Would you be interested in seeing my? I don't have a big head, right? I'm sick of your slander. I really am. I kind of want to show you my favorite meme, but then like it's so stupid. But it's so good. I would just be interested in seeing my favorite meme before we sleep. That is the big question. No, it is stupid. Well, it works. It works. And I've been on Instagram so much less. I thought I was joking about big. Oh. Actually, someone said the most atrocious thing I was like the other day, right? They said that I've got the same face shape as Giga Chad. What the fuck? What do you mean? I do not look like Giga Chad. By the way, this is me done with music. This is just me chatting a bit of shit. We've had a very successful day. I feel like debrief time. We've learned a lot. I feel like I did know a lot of this already, but we shall continue this tomorrow. Very excited. Um, yeah, but can't go wrong. And at least I've actually started it. I'm very excited. I eventually want to do like little work on songs on stream. I think it'd be good. I think it'd be good. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me and everyone who's become one. Yes. Good night. God bless.